Hi, everyone. So, today I want to talk about three methods I use to price for wedding cake slices, right? So, I have another video on how to create wedding cake samples. I have another video as to kind of why I charge wedding cake tasting. But today I want to talk about exactly like how to actually price it, right? Or three ways you can actually price your packages. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to get right into my presentation. This video, even though this is a live, this will definitely be reposted so that you can be able to watch at any time. So don't you worry. So because I do want everything to make sense, what I'm going to do today is share three particular topics. Why you should charge for wedding cake tasting slices. I'm going to go through that really briefly. I'm also going to share two ways to present the tasting samples to your potential clients. And then finally, I'm going to share three methods you can use to price the cake tasting samples, right? So that's how I'm going to do this. I just don't want to get into the how to price because there's some extra things that go with that. Okay. So why should you charge for your wedding cake tasting slices, right? First reason, or let me give you the three reasons, then I'm going to break it down. So first reason is to recover the cost of baking, filling, decorating, packaging, and presenting your wedding cake tasting sample, right? Realize if you are a baker who's doing business, I'm usually most of the time I'm usually talking to home bakers, but you could also have a shop. Remember, for you to do that cake tasting, you've baked the cake, you have filled the cake slices. Maybe you've decorated the cake slices, you have packaged and you've presented really nicely. All of that costs money. Second reason, to attract the right type of clients, right? To attract dream customers. Third reason you want to charge for your cake tasting is to show potential clients that you are a professional baker. So let's start with reason number one. If you choose to offer wedding cake tasting slices or packages, realize again, you have to bake the cakes, fill, and decorate them. You're not doing one flavor, right? It's gonna be like multiple flavors. It's gonna be multiple fillings because a lot of people these days they don't want to know just the cake. They also want to know what the type of fillings you're using. Another thing is that it's going to be more time consuming. It's not like doing one cake order where you do red velvet 1 kg decorated with cream cheese frosting, right? This is going to be baking in 3 pans if it's 3 flavors or 4 flavors, right? Finally, you have to package and present them really nicely, right? You're trying to impress this person to give you the wedding cake order. So you're going to be deliberate about how you present these cake slices. So because of that, you're going to do a really really good job. So if you're running a baking business, you have to account for the costs and figure out how to make profit. Unless your job is just to do this expensive hobby, you're going to be trying to make sure you're making a profit. So instead of adding the cost into your business randomly, like willy nilly deciding, oh, I'm just going to throw this into my business, that's going to stress your business. Instead of doing that, charge your potential wedding cake customers for that tasting. Charge the specific person, right? Who's doing the wedding cake tasting. That makes more sense. And for those people who are like, oh, people will refuse, one of the things you can tell them is that if you do pay for the wedding cake tasting sample, when you choose to book your wedding cake with us, we will minus the cost of the wedding cake sample tasting that you did. So that makes somebody feel like they didn't lose that, right? Like, oh, you've removed that cost, so I haven't lost out on that. So just a point to note. Before I continue on, I'm just going to do a little bit of intro. This is a Baking with Amari YouTube channel for those of you guys who are YouTube watching on YouTube, even on TikTok. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. And for you to be able to comment, especially if you're on YouTube, you do have to actually subscribe. We offer baking classes, cake decoration classes, ebooks, printed recipe books, and we also do baking events like Baking for Business masterclasses physically. Our shop is actually a physical shop. It's based on Gong Road in Nairobi, Kenya. That's where we offer our classes. We are on Arcade Discount Mall, shop number 52, ground floor. We're literally next to the greenhouse. So if you ever want to schedule a visit, you can schedule a visit. We also offer online classes. If you just go to our website, amaribakery.com, you can see the full details. A little bit about me for those of you who are wondering, why would I be talking about wedding cake slices? What do I know about these things? I'm a professional baker and a trainer. I'm the founder and chief trainer at Baking with Amari brand. I have been a bakery professional for over 12 years. So I'm a professional baker, a cake decorator, and I am a recipe developer. I've worked in the baking industry since 2008 in a commercial bakery. I've been an entrepreneur in the Kenyan baking industry since 2012, and I have been a trainer since 2015. So since we're talking about wedding cakes, this is my wedding cake journey. My first wedding cake order was when I was still a beginner, very, very, very fresh. My cousin decided to give me the order for doing this. Obviously, this was because it was cheaper for him. But anyway, my first order was in 2007. In 2012, I decided to follow my passion for baking and actually started my first home baking business. And this is when I actually started taking custom and wedding cake orders. If you're on YouTube, you can check out the first wedding cake that I did. Not that great looking, but it was a good trial. In 2014, I started teaching individuals how to bake and decorate, as well as how to actually decorate wedding cake orders, how to execute on them, and all that. So you can see some of my wedding cakes that I've done. I also teach people how to do the wedding cakes. So currently, because I am those people who, believe in picking a niche, if you're in the baking industry, I don't often take wedding cake orders. Most of the time, I focus on training bakers how to decorate them and how to bake them. Periodically, I will work on wedding cake orders for personal reasons, maybe if it's somebody I know, or if I want to collaborate with other bakers or alumni. A lot of the times, I do tend to give the alumni the work or our instructors. If you're with me, please comment yes below so that we can keep going, okay? So the second reason why you should charge for wedding cake orders is it helps you attract the right type of clients, right? We call those dream customers. You don't want to attract people who are just looking for free samples. All they want to do is just get free stuff from you. Oh, hi, Angel, learn from your YouTube how to prepare fondant from scratch. Awesome. Great. Be careful with offering free samples because you're going to attract free. If it's like one of those things where if you keep giving free stuff, what happens is that you keep getting people who want free stuff. The problem with people who want free stuff all the time don't always want to pay for the wedding cake order. So what's going to happen? You're going to keep giving free samples to people who are never going to pay you for it. And so what's happening is that you're attracting the wrong type of person. So what you actually want to do is you want to charge for that wedding cake tasting, not only to recover the cost, but also to make sure you're attracting people who are willing to pay, which takes me to number 3. The third reason why you want to charge for these things is that it shows potential clients that you are a professional baker, right? Charging for samples kind of demonstrates that your cakes are premium products, right? You're not going to give them away for free. Why? It requires time and skill and quality ingredients. So because of that, when I come to you and you're telling me you charge for it, deep down I'm thinking this is a professional, right? This is a person who values their cake or at least has premium stuff. And that's why you want to charge for that. By the way, if you're looking to attract premium customers, right? Not the 15,000 for a 7-tier customer. No. If you're looking to attract people who take it seriously, they're willing to pay 50,000 and above, 50,000 Kenyan shillings and above for a wedding cake, 100,000. If you're looking for premium clients, by charging for your cake tasting samples, you create a sense of exclusivity in your cake brand, right? This person will only deal with me if I pay for their stuff. Their stuff must be high quality, right? That's something that happens to premium customers. So premium customers are more encouraged to book with you because, they're like, you have to pay for these samples? Okay, maybe I'll consider this. It does give a sort of sense of exclusivity. And some bakers who are afraid of charging for these cake tasting will be like, okay, what do I tell people? Why am I charging? You need to just tell people, listen, Charging for samples makes sure I cover the cost of baking and packaging these samples because I have to keep my business profitable, right? Most people, when they're dealing with big businesses, they don't ask, if you're in Kenya, they don't ask Naivas to give them free stuff, or they don't ask Cake City to give them free stuff. How come they're asking you to give free stuff, right? So you can explain to people, listen, I'm running a business. I have to make sure I at least get back the cost of doing this. So those are the three main reasons why you want to charge for your cake tasting, wedding cake tasting specifically. Second thing I wanted to share with you guys is 2 ways to present the cake tasting samples to your potential clients. Here's 2 ways you can do it. Number one, and I'm especially talking to home bakers if you don't have a shop, but even if you have a shop, this actually does apply to you as well. So, number one, meeting your customer at a central point, right? You both agree we're going to meet somewhere. If you have a shop, you both agree you're going to meet at your shop. Second thing, you can deliver the cake samples to your customer, right? They don't want to come. They just want you to deliver the cake samples so you can deliver to them. So if the couple or the bride, whoever it is, wants to meet with you, they want to taste the cake with you present right there, you can, again, if you have a shop, go to the shop or agree to a place to meet. Now, make sure this place is food friendly, right? So if you're in, again, if I'm based in Nairobi, so if I was to give examples to you of what to do, make sure you're picking a place that doesn't mind you bringing out cake and eating. So some of the places might not be conducive, like a coffee shop, since they sell cake, but you can rent out a meeting to your customers. If your customer doesn't want to meet you, if your customer doesn't want to, show up and taste the thing, maybe they want to taste in private and then they want to give you the feedback later, right? If that's the kind of person you're dealing with, well, you can package the slices separately, right? Like if you're on YouTube, you can see I've done this. You can package like the fillings and the frostings in the little plastic containers or something that you can close and just put in the package. Put maybe some bamboo forks or something, put up the package nicely in like a cardboard box, deliver. Of course, if you're charging for this, just like any other order, what you would suggest to do, or what you maybe would choose to do, would be to, number one, um, you can choose to charge the wedding cake samples separately, and then you tell them, hey, for delivery you have to pay. Or you can choose to tell them, hey, it's free delivery for these packages, you just need to pay for the wedding cake tasting package. So you can choose. Maybe you can look at it based on the customer and the distance. If they're very close to you, you can choose to do like free delivery. But if they're very far from you, tell them, hey, you have to pay for the package and you have to pay for delivery as well. You're going to decide what to do. So again, 2 ways of presenting your cake tasting samples to your potential customers. One, meet at a central point or meet at your shop. Two, deliver directly to the customer. Everybody does it different. Some people do both things. It's going to depend on your customer. The last thing I wanted to cover today was the 3 methods you can use to price wedding cake tasting samples, right? So I wanted to give that background before I get to the actual pricing. So here's the thing. No matter what I do in these free trainings, I cannot cover how to do the actual costing and pricing. This is And so, what I want to tell you is that to explain it in summary, to explain it very easily, how do you do this? You take your direct costs, you take your indirect costs, you put them together. That's called the cost of production. You add a profit margin and you set a price. And you're going to do this even if it is a wedding cake slice sample. Why? If you're going to bake a wedding cake slice sample, you're going to sit down, you're going to bake. You have a recipe, right? Is it a half kg or a quarter kg, red velvet, vanilla, whatever it is. So even if you're doing a wedding cake tasting order, you have a recipe. So you need to sit down and just cost that recipe. If you're going to add fillings, add the cost of the filling. Then remember, add your indirect costs, right? Things like marketing, depreciation, cost of using equipment, all those things. So direct costs, the things are directly related to baking your cake. Then do indirect costs, right? The other things that you run your business with. Put those together so you can come up with what we call the cost of production. That's the cost of producing your wedding cake slices. Remember, if you're doing 3 flavors, you're doing the costing of the red velvet, the fruit cake, the lemon cake, whatever it is. You have to cost for each thing. Bakers, I know, hate doing this, but it is part of business. You just got to do it. After that, add your now remember, I cannot do the actual how here. So I'm going to share. There's 2 ways that I help you in depth with pricing. We have a 90-day online costing and pricing class. It includes wedding and custom cakes. And it's 1,500 shillings or $15 for non-Kenyan payments. You can choose to join that class. Or you can also join our 4-month online wedding cake course that includes costing and pricing. And it's going to include costing and pricing for wedding cakes. And it's also going to have a very specific costing for wedding cake samples and how to create a package. And I'm actually doing the intake right now. Intake is till the end of this week. It's actually on Saturday, 12th October. So you can join the class by then. I'm going to share more details at the end of the class. Now, if you are doing the pricing, if you're wondering, how can I price my wedding cake samples? Here's 3 ways that I used to do it. I didn't use all 3 of these. I considered all of them. I'll tell you the last 2 that I used. The first way to do it is you can do per slice pricing. That means you sit down. Once you do the cost, like I just explained, charge per slice. You tell somebody 1 slice is 150 or 1 slice is 300 shillings, right? You can even have different costs of slices per flavor. Like you can say vanilla is 150, red velvet is 300, carrot cake is 200 per slice, whatever you want to do. So just sit down and find out the cost per slice and then charge the person per slice. Now, you can opt to even give 1 slice, right? If you want to. You can do, I'm going to sell you 1 slice of 300, but I don't think that's a very smart thing to do. For this particular person or for this particular, sorry guys. For this particular package or order, you have to do 10 slices. Like the minimum is 10 slices. Or you can tell somebody if you want 3 flavors, the minimum is 20 slices. The reason you do this is because can you imagine selling 2 slices to somebody of a red velvet and a vanilla? If you don't have a shop and you're home baker, that's going to be one of the most expensive things to do. So if you choose to do per slice pricing, there's nothing wrong with it, but please have minimum order quantities. Tell people you can order only up to 10 slices, nothing less than 10 slices. And that's for 1 flavor. If you want multiple flavors, you have to do 20 slices and above for like 3 flavors. Because you've already sat down and done your costing, you can see how that works for you. So the first method of pricing is per slice pricing. I personally personally think this is not a bad idea if you have a shop. I think this is very tricky for somebody who has a home baker business or a home baker. So I've never really used this method myself, but it's a good method to use. I've seen shops use this method. So, second method of pricing your wedding cake samples is bundle pricing. Okay, bundle pricing. So, this is when you discount prices for multiple slices and flavors. Let me give you two examples. Number one, you say for three flavors like red velvet, lemon cake, and fruit cake, you can order 30 slices at 4,500 shillings. If you do the math for that, that means one slice is 150, right? So you tell the couple, I'll give you three flavors, 30 slices, that's 10 slices per flavor, and it's going to cost you a total amount of 4,500, one bundle, right? A total amount of 4,500. So that's one way of doing it. Second method of doing this is doing something like 5 flavors, right? If somebody wants to learn multiple flavors, you can do 5 flavors and tell them for 5 flavors, I will offer you 40 slices, right? So you're assuming maybe 8 slices per flavor. And the total for those 40 slices is going to be 6,000 shillings, right? So I'm not telling you per slice. I'm actually giving you a bundle and telling you the total bundle is 6,000. And then I'm telling you it's going to have 40 slices. It's going to have 5 flavors. Or 4,500 shillings, it's going to have 30 slices, 3 flavors. Again, you do have to sit down and do the costing for this, but that's an easier way of doing this. And this is something I've done before that I find works very well. Now, my other thing I will tell you, like sort of like the extra thing. Most people want some type of filling, right? You're going to have a filling in there and you're going to have maybe some frosting. So you can opt to not to offer the filling on the side. Just put the filling inside the slice of cake, and then they'll tell you, oh, I want buttercream frosting or I want chocolate mousse. Okay, you're going to make the cake and inside offering the filling on the side so that people can taste it by itself. If you're that type of baker, you can either choose to offer that as a freebie, like the tiny little containers you can see here, or you can charge it separately. Personally, I never used to charge it separately. I figure if I've charged you the bundle, I've included the cost of doing the filling inside. But every baker is different. You can choose to just charge that by itself, right? So first time method of pricing was per slice. Second method of pricing that I've just described is bundle pricing. Third method of pricing, which I think this is a really good idea if you're a very busy baker in the wedding cake season, if you're those types of people who you are consistently getting queries about wedding cakes, this is a really good one to consider. Tiered pricing. So what tiered pricing does, it offers varying prices based on the number of slices purchased. Giving 3 examples. Number 1, you can tell somebody if you do 15 to 20 slices, it's going to be 300 per slice. If you do 25 to 30 slices, it's going to be 200 per slice. If you do 40 to 60 slices, it's going to be 100 per slice. Do you see what I'm doing? The more you order, the cheaper the slice is, right? So again, this is for slightly busier bakers, whether you're a home baker or you have a shop, whichever. This can work well because if you've ever done any type of costing and pricing, you know very well that the more stuff, expensive it is. So that's why when it's 15 to 20 slices, we're doing 300, 400 per slice. Remember on the side, as you can see, like on YouTube, you can see this. I'm saying 15 to 20 slices, 300 per slice, maximum of 2 flavors. That means I'm not going to do a lot of flavors. I'm only going to bake 2 cakes, which again reduces my costs. Now, if I bake a lot more, 25 to 30 slices, that means I can bake 3 flavors. I can bake 3 separate cakes, like 3 square cakes. Out of those 3 square cakes, I can get 10 slices from each. So you see, it becomes a bit better. 40 to 60 slices is cheaper, but again, it's cheaper to bake more cake for you as the baker. So that's why you're able to charge it a little cheaper, like 100. You can do 100, you can do 150 per slice. At that point, you can tell them I can do 4 flavors. Because if I'm doing 40 slices, I can do 10, 10, 10. If I'm doing 60 slices, definitely I can bake 4 cakes and I'll make 60 slices out of that. So I hope that makes sense. Tiered pricing encourages people to basically buy more because it's going to be cheaper, but it also helps you because the more you bake, the cheaper it is you bake. The cheaper the cost of production. I hope that makes sense. So you can do per slice, you can do bundles, like I just described, or number three, you can do tiered pricing, where the more somebody buys, the cheaper it becomes. Again, when it comes to frostings and fillings, you can opt to do them in between the slice, right? You can opt to do them in between the slices. I'm trying to find a slice that I can show you guys on YouTube. Like as you can see, these slices have frosting in between and some have filling. So you can do white chocolate mousse, you can do dark chocolate mousse, you can do raspberries chocolate mousse, whatever it is you want to do. However, if you want to offer your particular fillings or flavors on the side or frostings on the side, you can do that. Now you can opt to do it for free if you want to, but if you don't want it to do it for free, I would suggest finding the little plastic containers with a lid, like the ketchup ones, and then you put 50 grams of filling inside, and you can tell people, hey, for every 50 grams of filling you want, it's going to be 50 shillings or it's going to be 100 shillings. Do your costing, try and figure out how much it's going to cost, right? So I hope those three methods of pricing have helped you out. Does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, please comment below. I will definitely answer the question. I'm going to give you a few minutes to see if anybody has any questions for me to answer them. As I wait for your questions, I want to tell you guys that we offer 3 options for bakers who need help when it comes to wedding cakes, right? Especially if you're just getting into the wedding cake space or you're thinking of getting into the wedding cake space. People struggle in different ways. There's people who need to learn the skills. There's people who need to learn the concept of the costing. There's people who want to learn the process, how to take the wedding cake orders. And there's people who want all of them, right? So I want to share with you guys the different ways in which we offer help at Baking with Amari. So the number one way we do this is by offering a practical, intensive 5-day course. Practical means hands-on. You come into class at our Gong Road workshop, and we teach you cake decoration techniques, costing and pricing, order taking, how to do quotations, how to do contracts, all this stuff. Now, this is usually a one-on-one class, so it's either me and you or the other instructor and you. You can book anytime. This is based on your schedule and also our schedule. So if you want to do that, you schedule a visit to our workshop. Then we'll discuss your specific needs, and then you make a payment. You book your dates and you attend class. This class is usually 5 days at 30,000 shillings. We offer you all the tools, all the equipment, and you get to go home with your 3-tiered cake that you bake and decorate in class. Second way that we offer learning options, this is for those people who already know how to decorate and they already know how to do the cake stuff. We offer you a wedding cake bundle template. So this is for bakers who want to know how to run the order side of it. They don't have any quotations. They don't have any contracts. They want those documents. And so this bundle is $15 or 1,500 shillings, and it has 10 very important documents. It has a sample costing, like a breakdown of how to do a costing on a Word document. And then we give you the blank version where you can go in and put in your information. We have an order form, a sample. We also have a blank one, quotation, sample, and a black one. We have an order checklist that explains the process of taking an order. We also have a contract that's blank that you can put in your logo and fit in your details, and you can edit it. So very helpful for anybody who's doing that. We also have a fondant recipe in those documents, and we have a wedding cake costing and pricing spreadsheet. So it's an Excel sheet that you can use to do your costing. Third option is the one I was telling you guys of the intake we're doing currently for anybody who wants to learn all the things. You want to learn how to decorate the cake. You want to learn how to do the wedding cake order, how to do the quotations, how to price and cost. And we also have how to bake a rich fruit cake, right? And the intake is currently ongoing until the end of this week. That class is 3,500 shillings, $35 for non-Kenyan payments. They are pre-recorded class videos. Once you pay, you get access to the course for 120 days or for 4 months. Now, we offer support for this, and the support is starting on October 12th, where we have a Facebook group where I'm going to be doing live Q&As every like 2 weeks. And we also will have a WhatsApp group for support for all those people who are doing their assignments. And I'll be giving assignments for anybody who wants to get into this. You also, if you enroll by today, October 10th, you get a freebie. You get free access to our 3D custom African fondant cakes online class. This class is usually 1,500 shillings. You learn how to make the kiondo pot, African pot, and the jiko cake, right? And if you're on YouTube, you can be able to see some of the work we've had from our students do it. That's really, really good for those people who are doing that. Hello, Manjogo. I see your comment. Good to see you joining me live. Stella, I see your question you've asked. Will this video be open to watch after this live? Yes, this will be reposted on YouTube. If you're on TikTok, you can always get back on YouTube and see the repost of this. So yes, this will be available to watch. So again, sharing with you guys some of the results we've had with our students who have done this custom wedding cake class with us, the one for the jiko, the kiondo, and the African pot. Also, we will be covering cake costing. I'll do costing for 2 types, the wedding cake and how to come up with cost and price. I'll also do a segment on how to do a breakdown on how to do actual costing of a wedding cake sample and how to come up with a price, okay? I cover quotation contracts, how to sketch your orders and actually come up with what you're doing. There's a free module on how to make ganache, use it for frosting and a crumb coat. You learn how to make 2 fondant icing recipes and how to use them for decorating cakes. We also have various edible decorations like edible lace and other stuff. How to use a airbrush, lots and lots of content covered in this online class. And as you can see on YouTube, these are some of the results we've had from customers who actually take the class and practice, and they're able to actually stack up. Like on the left, you can see the 3-tier stacking. On the right, you can see the 2-tier stacking. You will learn a total of 4 wedding cake designs that will give you the experience you need. So we teach you how to do a 2-tiered American buttercream floral design. You'll learn a 3-tiered fondant cake design with a simple sugar flour, 2-tiered whipped ganache cake design with berry filling. We also have a bonus module on ganache and how to make 3 types of ganache: glaze, mousse, whipped ganache, colored ganache, all that. There's a module that shows you a behind the scenes of a wedding cake order for a 5-day execution that we actually did with my instructor, and I filmed her through the whole entire process. Then the final wedding cake project is going to be a 3-tier fondant cake with peony sugar flowers with a geometric design. So that's the final assignment you're going to have. After this live, feel free to WhatsApp DM. There's going to be a link below on YouTube for the WhatsApp DM and a number. There's also going to be a link below for you guys to see the curriculum on Amari Online School site. If you're on TikTok, you should be able to see our WhatsApp DM number, and you can be able to DM us directly and make inquiries. If you want to ask, if you're curious about what's covered, you can just reach out and do that. Again, the course is $3,500 for 4-month access to all the content. You'll get recipes that you can download and use them, right? If you have any questions on the online course, please feel free to ask below. If you have any questions, I'm trying to see if there's any questions on here. I don't see any. All right. Cool. All right. So even if you're on YouTube, if you watch the repost, right, the replay for this, if you do have a comment, if you have a question, just comment below and I'll actually answer via chat. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. If you're on TikTok, thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you follow if you don't already follow. And I hope this session has really helped you guys. I will see you guys next time. Remember, if you are on YouTube and you don't follow us on the other social media, we're on TikTok, we're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, just search Baking with Amari and you will find us. TikTok, if you want us to find us in any other platform, just go search Baking with Amari. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because that gives it saves the live and you're able to rewatch it otherwise. And it also has our longer tutorials that you can be able to watch. We're also on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the stuff. All right. I hope this has helped you guys. If you're in Kenya, enjoy the rest of your holiday, and I will see you guys next time. If you're on YouTube, thanks for hanging out with me. Do comment below if this has helped you. Do comment below if you have any questions. If not, I will see you guys next time. And hopefully I will see you in the online course where you can learn how to do all the stuff when it comes to the wedding cakes. All right. Bye, guys. See you next time. Make sure to watch the next video.